The 4200 series reel, it kind of takes everything we've learned over the last decade and puts it into this reel. Sage prides themselves in perfecting performance. We're really about creating products. Rods obviously are known worldwide, and we're going after the same characteristics with our reels. So when we went in to design the 4200 series reel, we took what we knew about the 6000 series and our other series that are using a carbon drag, a sealed carbon drag, and we wanted to make a very lightweight, compact reel that was kind of targeted after more of a trout fishery rather than a big game saltwater fishery. So we came in, we used our carbon system, which the beauty of the carbon system is we found and sourced and spec'd materials that have no wear. Sage, one thing they pride themselves in is the one revolution drag knob. So you get the whole drag range in one revolution, and it's numbered. So if you know in your fishery you're always hitting a setting 4, you can always go back to 4. You're always on the same drag. So every time you want to strip line, you can back it off, strip, but go back to 4 and know where you're at. And that's what the carbon does for you. If you use cork or a lot of the polymers, what happens is there's some wear and there's some compression, and you can't have a repeatable drag system, and you also can't do it in one revolution. This system uses a carbon disc that's on the inside that rides next to a rotor that causes the frictional element. And we actually have 3 small hockey pucks, you might call them, that ride on one side of the rotor, and on the other side we have a solid disc. And these 3 different pucks that ride on this one side are actually spring loaded, so there's a spring on the back of each one, so that it allows it to be a very balanced drag when it goes out. It's kind of like 3 legs on a spool. It's always in balance and it's always smooth and consistent. And so that's what rides, or what the rotor rides between, and that's why it has such smooth, consistent drag. We have a 3-4 and we go up to a 9-10 in this series, and each of the drag packages in the reel is different. The smallest reel uses a very small drag. It uses a very small rotor. The larger reel actually has, the 8-weight has a larger diameter rotor, and the 10-weight has dual rotors in it so that it can cover the range. A smaller trout reel, they're usually only up to 1.5 pounds, 2 pounds of drag. The larger ones will get up to 5 or 10 pounds depending on the fishery and the application. And that's what we use our expertise to figure out what the drag range should be and set each family or each series in the family to the right drag range. The other thing, as I mentioned earlier, the carbon is so important to us because if you wear literally 1/1000th of an inch or 2/1000ths of an inch off this carbon, the whole drag range drops off and it goes away. That's less than the thickness of your hair. And that's why it's so important to go to a high temperature, high pressure material like this. This is the same type of material they use in race cars and planes to stop them. And the reason is because it can handle the pressure and temperature. And really a drag system, our sealed carbon systems, it's all about transferring the kinetic energy of a running fish into thermal energy. It's really the heat inside of this drag that we're just trading that kinetic energy for thermal energy. All of the drags that we have at Sage are fully sealed, from our starting point at 99 all the way up to our upper end premium 6000 series reels. We pride ourselves in the carbon and we pride ourselves in a sealed drag, so in all environments it's going to maintain and last and not need any maintenance other than a standard rinse. So we wanted to go with that sealed unit, whether you're in freezing temperatures or hot temperatures, it's always consistent. We integrated that in here. We also at Sage pride ourselves in using the latest technology to design our reels. So we use a SolidWorks software package that allows us to design in 3D each and every component of a reel, check assembly and check function, but it also allows us to look at what the strength to weight ratio is. It allows us to look at all of the structural elements and find out if the flex is right or minimal in this case. So we can really slice and dice the reel up and go after a cosmetic package that looks nice but also is structurally sound. So we really got rid of all the weight that wasn't needed, really created this little spider arm effect that's just bare minimum as far as that goes. So we got into the drag works well, it's lightweight, it has the capacity, it has a curved arbor that adds capacity, but it also adds strength. Again, trying to take advantage of all the geometry of the reel. So that's the prime thing that we brought out in the 4200, and we were able to accomplish this at a very reasonable price point. And that's kind of the basis of our reel program.